Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Monday group call. I am Kevin T. Robertson, CEO of Speaker Focus, here with the one and only Mr. Auston Troyer and the tech team from speakerfocus.com. We are here to answer any and all questions pertaining to growing your speaker business. Happy Monday, everybody. I want to thank everyone, first of all, for all of the love and the support. I'm not in a position where I can do video tonight, but hear my voice ring very, very boldly. I'm standing stronger than ever. And I want to thank everyone for the nice messages that they sent me because of my absence last week on the group call. So thank you so much for that. You all know the drill. If you have any questions, please do use the raise hand feature and I will get right to you. I want to set the tone for the conversation tonight as we are fastly approaching winding down our 2021 campaign. So remember that it's not too late to be able to light a fire under your ass to get things going, to develop your speaker business, get things happening on a whole nother level so you can do the things that you're supposed to do and you can become the person that you are destined to be. Alex Bryant has his hand raised first, so Alex will jump right into it. I'll get right with you. Let me see. Alex, what's going on, boss? Talk to me.
How you doing, KTR?
I'm doing super fantastic, man. How about you?
Not too bad. Keeping on my toes with Trevor and the gang. My question refers to my speaker info kit. I just wanted to hear your thoughts about it.
On the speaker info kit that you just sent me with the testimonial that you added?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, it was amazing. Well, first of all, I love the template that you use. You know, you always paint Trevor. You're welcome. You always paint him in, well, you always design materials that paint him in the best light that really reinforces his brand. You know, his energy is always felt. It's always colorful. He's always smiling, you know, so all of it looked good. I mean, again, your marketing collateral, it should all feel good and it should sound good. It should feel good to the meeting plan. It's very pleasing to the eye. Has a nice, simple, clean design. It was packed with just the right kind of information that I need to see if I'm a meeting planner. So as always, you and the team over at trevorromaine.com always do an outstanding job.
Yeah, that was one thing I was trying to do, because last time, the first one I did, it was like too wordy. It was too much going on. And then I just really wanted to condense it and have more imagery and more social proof on there as well. So yeah, that's what I did. And then I just sent you and Austin an additional page to review. It's basically featured products. I just did 3. I think it's the ones that make more sense. And then one meeting planner already got back to me saying that she really loved the design and she's talking to me in January. So yeah.
Nice. Well, again, that's a great way to let the marketing collateral do all the talking for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Alex, I give you a compliment that my art teacher told me when I was in the 9th grade. She said, Kevin, you have a way of putting a lot in one space and still be able to make it work. So, we upgrade, we modify, we make these minor changes, especially at the rate that you're doing outreach now and booking speaking engagements and connecting with coordinators on a week-to-week basis. You know, you have to put these marketing materials out in the market. You have to put these marketing materials out there to meeting planners and get them to be able to give you some feedback on it so that you know that you're moving in the right direction. Again, when they start giving you feedback like, hey, this looks good, I understand what the messaging is, when they're dialoguing with you back and forth about your speaker business, that's how you know that what you're designing is working. Listen, I've looked at thousands of these things, Alex. There's nothing that you've ever designed where I'm like, that's horrible, that's not going to work. You just stay on the path that you're going down. If you feel like you need to strip it down, simplify, and just keep testing the market. When you start doing outreach at scale, you are going to run through a lot of people. You're going to talk to a lot of people. This is just a numbers game. Remember, in this business of professional speaking, you win by attrition. You win by attrition. That means that you have to talk to a lot of people in your sales funnel. You may talk to 100 people a week to get 5 that's interested. To book 1 a week, it's going to turn into $5,000 to $10,000. That's the game that we're playing. So to be consistent and predictable, that means staying on top of it every single day and tweaking your sales funnel and everything that you're doing. Great job. Just keep us in the loop like you always do and keep advancing. Because let me tell you something, you're going to find your way to major pay dirt in 2022 because you have all the kind of revenue generating activity that you need to do.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because every time there's interest or something, like his books usually sell out. So it's been helping other areas as well. But yeah, I really appreciate the feedback. Yeah, I think that's it for them pretty much. There's no new updates in regards to the other speaking engagements. The only one, actually, there is another question because this brought up with Trevor today. So there is a so the conference that has like multiple locations. That's the one in Atlanta and New York and Florida, whatever. So they got back to me and they were asking for like a presentation handout. Like what do you think should, because I don't want to include basically, here's a description of the talk and then the takeaways. It needs to go into a little bit more, adding more value, but like what should Trevor and I should include into like one of his talks? Like I can send you an email like one of the talks, but if you can give like a general idea of what I should include.
Yeah, is she talking about a handout when he's there actually giving the presentation, or is this something she needs to submit to the board? Which one?
This is like one of those handouts when it goes towards the attendees at the session.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, okay. So this is what you should always do. Like I have an acronym for focus. I have like 100 different ways that I spell focus. It all depends on what facet of leadership I'm talking about. So I always break it down into 1 sheet per letter for the acronym. So then I have a handout that's 5 sheets. Sometimes if I'm doing something quick, it may just be 1 sheet, but I always leave the opportunity for what is the desired outcome, what is the action step they're going to take. That's what should be on your handout. What did you learn? What are you going to do with the information? And what's your plan after this presentation? So you can either do 1 to 5 sheets at the most for a handout.
Yeah. They want to keep it down to 1.
Yeah. Or you can do, you can do 1 sheeter. You can do, well, in that case, okay, here's what you need to do. You need to, what is the biggest thing that you want? What's the biggest thing from Trevor's message that you want them to walk out of there with? If you're going to do a 1-sheeter, they have to be able to frame out the value that they're getting from your signature program. And that's going to be clearly how you're going to help them with what's going to be the key takeaway, what's going to help them achieve their desired outcome and help them achieve their learning objective. Whatever that's going to be needs to be clearly laid out in your 1-sheeter.
Okay.
And give them some space to take some notes and write so that they clearly understand, okay, this is what he asked me to do, and this is how I'm going to put it into action. That's what benefit language is all about. And keep the handout really simple.
Okay. Yeah, I was planning on keeping it very, very simple because if it's overcomplicated, it's just like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You definitely don't want to do that. I mean, especially if he's doing an hour keynote speech.
Yeah.
You want to give them a little bit of space to write because people love taking notes. Listen, I've had people at banquets write stuff down on the cocktail napkin when they didn't have any paper. And they came over to me and showed me the cocktail napkin that they wrote it down on. They said, look, I've been taking notes the whole time you've been talking because it was so good. Okay, great. I don't know how the hotel's going to feel about that, but maybe you could just stuff that in your pocket and go home.
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't actually think about is having sections of where people can like have like, lines so they can take notes. So
Well, you have to. You know, Trevor's very animated. It's
yes,
impossible to listen to him and not be inspired and not walk away with something. You know,
yeah,
and also too, remember this, and this is for the rest of the group as well. Alex, the reason why you want to incentivize people to write on the handout or the workbook or the worksheet or the one sheeter is because they might not be able to take Trevor home, but they can take his book home. They can take the notes
mhm,
from the handout home. See, people always, I don't care how much automation that we get, man. People love to take notes. They have a binder, they have a journal, they have sometimes they get it in their conference bag. People love to write things down. They feel like it gives them some ownership. So help them take a part of him home. And that's the reason why you want to create the one sheeter or 2 pages. You know, don't, you know, you can try to keep it simple, but what are you really trying to have them walk out of there with? What I want people to do is understand what that acronym is, and then I want them to create an action plan based upon what I just taught them. That's the reason why I give 5 sheets. But you can easily get it done in one sheeter. I've done a one sheeter before with the acronym on it. It just gets kind of bunched up and kind of crampy. I like to let it breathe a little bit. Give them some
yeah,
space to write down. They have fun with it.
yeah. That's totally right. So yeah, I can work on that. That's a lot of good feedback.
No problem. Send it over. Create something. Send it over to me. Let me see what you have. If it looks too jumbly, I'll tell you, hey, Alex, simplify a little bit more, or it's a go.
Okay, yeah, I will for sure. All right,
No
thank you,
problem.
KTR.
Remember, you're very welcome. Remember, Alex, and I'll be talking to you real soon. Remember, you do a great job at your design skills are on point. You do things at a professional level. So whenever it is that we give you some consultation to do something, you always do it and you crush it and take it to another level. Let me lower Alex's hand and let me move on to the next person. Let's see who we got next. This we got Lisa Almond Baldwin. Hey Lisa, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I hear you just fine.
All right. Having a little bit of internet connection issues here in Ecuador, but hopefully it won't cut out. So
Wow. Ecuador,
I,
that's how you're gonna treat Lisa after how long she's been there. You're gonna give her technical issues tonight.
I know, right? I have 1 week left, and I'm kind of depressed that I have to leave, but you know.
Oh man, yeah, yeah.
um, but so a couple of things. One, this is kind of for the group. It's kind of success story, sort of. I
Okay.
had one of the entities that I had reached out to a long time ago, and then I had 2 strategy calls with the board chair, and then they wanted me to, and then that was the one, I don't know if you remember, that had a speakers bureau that handles their speakers. So that person had kind of jumped in and, you know, took my
Yes.
information. Yeah. So all of that, they scheduled me to do a Zoom with 6 of the board members
Nice.
to talk about all of their different events that are coming up. And
Yep.
I got a lot of positive feedback from all of them.
Good.
Some sent me messages on LinkedIn later. Some sent me email. And
Mhm.
the guy who's the speakers bureau person said, "You did a fabulous job. We I might have some other speaking engagement opportunities for you in the area." When
Good.
I talked to the board, I pitched them on, you know, other companies that might be able to do add-ons in the area, and they were all
Right.
receptive to that. One of the ideas I gave them for lunchtime speaker, they said, "Oh, we've never done that. Maybe we can, you know, we do that." So anyway, I just wanted to tell everybody that you never know who you talk to and what you bring up to them, where it might lead to something else. And again, it's nothing's booked yet, but because they have more people to interview, but they gave me a time frame when they are going to be making a decision, and they've been communicative. So I just want to say that for everybody listening, is that just stick with it, because a lot of times I'm thinking, it's not working, quote unquote, not working, but it is
Right.
working.
Absolutely. Okay, Lisa. So let me comment on what you just said. I want to thank you for sharing that information. So everybody, let me translate what Lisa just said. Well, first of all, it's very self-explanatory about sticking to it. Stick to itiveness definitely prevails. as we need to be patient to let these leads unravel. Everything has got to develop some more. You heard what she said. They're communicative with her. So Lisa, you may not know what that's called. Of hey, they love the idea of you coming in doing something for them during lunch. In our industry, we call that a lunch and learn. A lunch
Right.
and learn. If you're not
Right.
familiar with that phrase, everybody, a lunch and learn is when they would hire you to come in and to present ideas over lunch. And it's another way to do it as well. I've done lunch and learns before when the upside is so huge where I'm going to end up rolling it into 30, 40, 50K. Then I will go do the lunch and learn for free and present to the board members. Now, here's the beautiful part about what you said. And remember, I've been telling all of you this for years, is that there's typically never a single decision maker, especially for the bigger associations. You are always going to have 1, 2, 3. Lisa just said there were 6 key decision makers, board chair or committee members, meeting planners, conference coordinators, somebody who is directly responsible for picking her to speak. Now, the best thing she could do at this point, you said you're in contention, you have your name in the hat, and you're up for the booking. The other meeting planners are hitting you up through LinkedIn. Everybody's staying in contact with you. You deliver the value. Now, Lisa, walk us through and tell me how that went when you were on the conference call, the Zoom session with them, with the board members. Tell me how it started out, and then tell me how you went into the value, and then tell me how it ended, if you can walk us through that briefly.
So let me think. So the woman who was my initial contact and the guy who works for the speaker bureau,
Yes.
they are the ones I was communicating with, and then both of them have been on my list for my weekly email campaign. And she did comments on at one point. She said, "Oh, I've been getting your emails and I really like them." So all they told me was that we were going to have the other board members come on the call. They told me their organization, all the people on the board, they're all volunteer. They all have day jobs, but they're on this one particular association. They all come together each year when they have, because they have several events a year. So they're interviewing several people for different speaking engagements during the year. And so they just took turns asking me questions. One guy was kind of the main guy. I think he was the board chair, and he asked me most of the questions. And he just asked, he asked me to tell a little bit about my story so they could get to know me a little bit better. So I just kind of told them how I got into speaking and what happened with my breakdown of how my book came about and how I went on my first book tour, and that the speaking kind of went from there. It was very brief. Then he did ask me a question later down the line, and in one of the lines in my the call to action in my email campaign says, if you something like, if you have trouble or need help engaging with your audiences, I don't have the wording in front of me right now. I say I can help. And then it said about, going to my Calendly link. So he asked me about that. He says, when you said that in your campaign, what did you mean that you could help? And so I just went into how I basically engage with audiences, how I give them tools, how they have that. They asked, you were talking about the handouts. They asked, well, do you create a handout? And I said, absolutely. Because when I go to conferences, I write things down and I have things to take with me, and I have key things to do when I get home, and they were very impressed with that. And they asked, what else did they ask me? They just pretty much asked me, they were kind of interested in one of my signature programs more than the other. So they kind of asked me, how I would deliver that message, how I would get across to people. And I just mirrored pretty much everything that you were telling us about hitting on the key pain points that everybody's feeling. Right. And this particular association is a customer service association. So all of their members are in the customer service industry. And so they're worn out. They're, the travel comes in and then they're taking it back and, you know, mask this, that, and the next thing. So they just really just asked me how I would apply the things that I mentioned in my signature program.
Got you. Okay. All right. That sounds great. And then afterwards, they told you that they were interested in staying in contact with you. And, you know, what kind of timeline or system of accountability did you put in place for a potential follow-up? What does that look like?
I put it in my notes in Pipedrive. They told me around what date they would be getting back to me. And so, and there were two different things. So the initial contact lady, she's on two different boards. So she's considering me for two different things, two different board, two different association possibilities. And so, so I put those in Pipedrive. I put a little date ticker in there, when to follow up if I don't hear from them, you know, maybe a few days after the date they said they would probably be getting back to me. And then the ones that connected with me on LinkedIn afterwards, that I have their email address, I put them in my active campaign so that when my weekly emails go out, they get that the newer people get that. Mm-hmm.
You're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. You're engaging, you're interactive with the meeting planner, you're keeping the meeting planner or all the board members informed about you, you're letting them know about your tour, you're educating them, they like what they hear, and you're creating some top of mind awareness. You have them on your list to stay in contact with them, you're updating notes in your CRM, you are doing all the steps. This is why you're gonna be a high fee speaker. It takes time. It takes time for all of your, I call it business development. It takes time for business to develop. Mm-hmm. This is not a point of sale purchase business, everyone. You don't go in to a grocery store and buy some lettuce and some produce and get a couple cartons of milk and some eggs, and all of a sudden they come over to you and they pay you cash and you got cash in your register the same day. No, this is not this kind of business. This is a building relationship business, and it requires you to have some tact, finesse, diplomacy, and skill. By the way, Lisa, you to use every last one of those from what I can gather, because that's just the nature of your personality. So you got to work that room when you're presented to a board. Listen, you should be thrilled that you got the opportunity. See what this is? We're talking about up at bats. Do you realize you can't hit a home run unless you get up to bat? You don't have a batting average unless you step up to the plate and take some swings. You're gonna have a whole lot of misses. But the bottom line is you just not pitched, you just presented your brand to 6 decision makers.
Uh-oh.
Lisa, can you hear me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what that means is you planted a seed.
Right.
You planted a seed, and now you have to let that seed, it's in fertile soil now. Now, guess what you got to do? Now you got to go and find other people who you can present to. Mm-hmm. See, remember, selling is not convincing. You're not convincing the board of anything. Presentation of the facts and proper positioning of your brand. That's what you did. You're doing everything we're asking you to do. You're doing it right. What's hard, what's difficult is your mind starts playing tricks on you when it doesn't start converting into revenue fast enough or as fast as you think it should be, then we lose patience.
Right.
And when you lose patience, you lose discipline. When you lose discipline, your business starts breaking down. You gotta have some fortitude here.
Right.
And the thick skin. So this is why you're doing it the right way, Lisa. I just gotta encourage you because it happens to us all. Listen, the grocery store even has a bad day. Everybody has a bad day in sales. I don't care who you are. Right. And then some days you're gonna wake up and be like, I crushed it. See, every time that you give us some feedback, you are active. You're staying active, and that means that people are seeing your brand and they're now watch this, because I got a question to ask you. You're putting your brand out there, you're actively working your speaker business, you are doing outreach. So how are people responding to your brand, Lisa? What do you think?
Well, I think they're responding well because learning from what Alex was talking about the different weeks, talking about putting a tour together for Trevor, I started doing outreach. I had sent you, and you refined it for me, the outreach email I was sending for the tour. And so far, 2 people have responded and said, wow, your materials look amazing. One of them wasn't a fit, but she said, your materials were amazing. If you let me know your tour, it's not a fit for us because their beliefs were different from what I would be presenting. But anyway, she said, we would be fine telling our parishioners that you'll be in the area for a tour in case they want to go on their own. And then the other one, she has a conference coming up. I believe they already have all their speakers secured, but I'm still pitching her about a tour. But she said, your materials look amazing. Is there anything I can do for you at this point? So, I'm still in discussion with her.
Yeah, and remember this too, Lisa. Let me interject this in real quick. Yeah, they may have all their speakers booked for this year, but you never let that get you discouraged. They always have, watch this, a local, regional, quarterly meeting, some kind of meeting, the national, international conference coming up, which you could very well be a good fit for. These meeting planners remember the people that stay in contact with them the most. Everybody cannot book the speakers at the high fee level. Okay, let's say in your industry, we're talking about the faith-based industry. Everybody's not booking Bishop T.D. Jakes and my dear friend Joe Osteen and Dr. Creflo Dollar and Floyd Flake out of New York. They're not booking all the high fee mega church pastors because their calendars are full. You know how many speaking opportunities it is from the top to the bottom? So meeting planners have to get a reality check. Okay, I probably can't get Bishop T.D. Jakes, but I can get Lisa Allman Baldwin. Remember the lady that we talked to last year? She presented to the 6 board members. She sends us an email every week. She's always dropping knowledge on us. She's always has value. Hey, the last time I talked to Lisa, she's always willing to help. See, conference coordinators remember all of this stuff. Not that you just wanted to come in and take all the time, but you actually reached out to them. When they saw your content through your social media, through everywhere else, it was actually beneficial. See, remember, it took me 3 years to book Hinesfield, Pittsburgh Steelers, NFL. 3 years. 3 years. You know, all I did was stay in contact with them. Every July, when they start planning to do their game day training, coming up before the season starts, I reached out to them months prior to. Kept my relationship going. Email, telephone call, email. You're doing the same thing, Lisa. And believe me, it's remember, you win by attrition.
Right.
One meeting planner said, "Oh, Lisa, we can't use you, but if our parishioners want to go, we'd be more than happy to send over some information." They didn't tell you, Lisa, don't reach out to us anymore. Don't call us. They just said, we're not interested. And a no today in this industry doesn't mean a no a year from now. See, so don't ever get discouraged. Continue to build your relationship when they say no. Believe me, the meeting planner's needs change all the time, and you are getting to the yes or no as quickly as possible without the meeting planner stringing you along. They're interactive, they're communicative with you. That's what you want. You're in the game. Now, the goal is to up your numbers of the amount of people that you're presenting to every single day, because you're going to get to a point where you're talking to somebody about your speaker business all the time, and you're talking to 10 and it results in the 1 booking. That's what we want. Until you scale it up and start running ads on a whole nother level, you're laying the foundation the right way. You got it?
Right. Okay.
So
I had 2 questions. Going back to the lunch and learn. So when I gave them the idea about the lunch and learn, I used to arrange them for a company I worked for a long time ago, and it was basically the speaker came and all the people at work came and brought their lunch, and then he gave his presentation over their lunch while they were eating lunch. But when you just said about offering to do a lunch and learn for a board for free, my question is, because I was thinking about where I'm doing outreach for this tour, is that something that I should also look into, finding some places in an area that I'm already going to be, that I can pitch an idea to board members about speaking to their board members over a lunch and learn? Like, could you expound on that a little more?
Yeah, it's no question about it. I used to have a lot of my client base when I worked with the big public seminar companies, and all of them were clustered up there in Kansas City. I used to fly to Kansas City all the time and do a lunch and learn. A lunch and learn is a great way to get more business. See, everybody's talking about don't speak for free. Well, under the right circumstances, you absolutely want to do that. If you can get in front of some board members who are key decision makers, and you can actually give them a presentation. I had to do it for Pittsburgh Steelers. I had to do it for many other clients. In other words, they want to take it for a test drive. Okay, is that what you want me to do? You want me to stay on the phone with you for a half an hour, and you want to get with Bernie DeLuca and Maria D'Annunzio, and you want to get with the other gentleman, Brian, who runs the whole PSI Stadium ops. Oh, you want to get all the key decision makers, and you want me to present to them on the phone. Exactly because the NFL has such strict guidelines that they wanted me to do the presentation. So I did it, and I blew them out the water, and that's how I got the gig. Just like how you just presented to 6 other board members. You're talking about, it's not easy to get in front of these board members and get their attention, but you're doing it because you're doing everything we're asking you to do on the speakerfocus.com platform. So absolutely, do I want you to do some lunch and learns? You better do as many of them as you can. Only thing that's going to happen is some bookings. Let's say you did 3 lunch and learns a month. Okay, I got to take out 3 hours out of my day to spend that in to 15,000.
Right.
3 hours, 15,000. 3 hours, 15,000. Okay.
Right.
I'll do it.
Okay. So for example, I have one thing that I'm doing in Austin, and that's I'm trying to book other things around it. So I could reach out to certain corporations, you're saying, and boards in that Austin area and try to get on their docket to either, whether it's a Zoom or in person or something like that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And listen, I'm going to tell you what's so smart about this, because think about this too. You know, Lisa, what you want to do in the marketplace is you want to offer the meeting planner. You want to offer them something that doesn't make it look like you're just trying to come in to take, that you actually care about building relationships. You know, speakers don't really do lunch and learns. I've done a whole lot of them. Speakers don't want to do a lunch and learn. You know why? You don't want to go in to present for free. You don't want to go in and build a relationship. If you do this for 6 months to a year, do you know how many people that you have in your database of people that you have offered value to and really tried to help them out? Where you think they're going to go if you did it the right way? Where you think they're going to go when they're ready to make a purchasing decision?
Right.
You just upped your. That's right. You just upped your chances head and shoulders above every other speaker in the marketplace, because number one, you got your hooks in them. Number two, you have a relationship with them. Number three, you offer the value. I could go on and on and on. Keep doing it the way you're doing it, and you are building relationships. Sometimes you're gonna find a very solid. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I think I still hear Alex, if I'm not mistaken. Wait a minute, let me see if I got Alex muted. I think I got Alex. I still hear Alex for some reason.
Yeah, I'm hearing somebody too. Yeah, I'm hearing Alex too.
Don't worry about it. I forgot to mute him. That's my bad. Let me mute him. Wait a minute. I gotta mute him real quickly. He said something we don't want to hear. Oh my God. Let me go back to the meeting.
Crazy.
I can still hear him.
I know, me too. Wait a minute, hold on.
I'm trying to get this handout design for AccuTrain, which is like a fifth. No.
All right, I got him muted. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So you said
he's working.
Right. So how would I go about or what kind of how would I go about, so example for this Austin thing, okay? So yes. I have the people I'm reaching out to try to book me for a tour, but how would I go about, where would I look to kind of find where I would find a board or a key decision makers to say, I mean, and what would I be telling them I want to come and do for a lunch and learn? That's kind of, I'm kind of stuck on that.
Okay, well, it's very similar to how you're going to present the tour. It's very similar. All you're going to say is, hey, listen, I want to know if you or your board members or key decision makers who are looking to improve on leadership development, would you be interested in doing a lunch and learn with me over Zoom? Well, Lisa, what's a lunch and learn? Some people have never heard of it before. Well, it's where I come in during your lunch break. It's a catered event. You get everybody some Panera, whatever the case is, and then I'm on the Zoom session and I share a presentation with you that could increase your level of productivity, help you improve your performance, things of that nature. Would that be something you'd be interested in? Oh wow, Lisa, lunch and learn sounds really, really cool. We'll send me some information. Just like you got to send them some information about the tour. They're always going to ask you for information: website, speaker video demo, speaker info kit, information about the tour, handout, worksheet, one sheet, whatever it is. Send it over to them. If they say yes, then now obviously if you're offering someone for free, you can find a lot of people that are going to take you up on that offer. So you got to be real smart about the way you do it. Maybe you don't want to do an hour. Maybe you just want to do a half an hour. Maybe you just want to do a teaser. You want to give them a little taste. Get them excited about it, offer massive value. And then now you are continuing to build your relationship with them. Again, you got them on your list. You stay on top of mind. It's a game. You got to keep them in your flow of managing your communication properly with them. So value. When they're ready to make a purchasing decision, they move you to the top of the ladder. When they know you, they want to do business with you. It's just that simple.
Okay.
Why do you think, Lisa, why do you think every time you go on Facebook, don't you see our ad all the time?
Okay.
And you're in the coaching
Okay,
program.
and then
Okay, go ahead.
Say
Lisa,
that
go
again.
ahead.
What did you say?
No, I said you're in our coaching program, yet you still see
Yeah,
our
what did
ad
you
every time
say?
go
You
on.
said, why did
Can you
I
hear me?
think?
Lisa, can you hear me? I think the signal went bad for a second.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah,
you
I
hear?
can hear you. It's breaking up a little
Okay.
bit. I can hear you.
Okay, no, what I said was
Can you
you
hear
still,
me?
yeah, I hear you. Lisa, can you hear me now? Come on, it's been doing so good. Hello, Lisa, can you hear me? Hello. Okay, you can hear me, but you can't hear Lisa. Okay, Lisa was having an issue with her internet connection, so I will go back to her. I don't see another hand raised right now, but that was some good dialogue with Lisa. When Lisa comes back, and I can just get her back when she raises her hand again. Yeah, but that was some really good dialogue, everybody. Let me go back to the chat box real quick. Ed put something in there. Okay, thanks for that, Jonathan. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kenneth. I appreciate it. Ed put in the chat box, I just read this article about stress and event planners. They have the 5th most stressful job in America. Check it out. So Ed Babcock shared an article about the stress of event planners. I've been telling my platform that for years because I'm making my business to know that the meeting planners in the top 5 when it comes to stress. Right up there with, now these are interchangeable, but the most stressful professions are firefighters, law enforcement officers, medical professionals, and attorneys. Meeting planners are right there in the top 5. This is the reason why your signature programs have medicine in the message, and you should be helping the meeting planner do their job better, decrease their level of stress, increase productivity, help the team out. You will, okay, Lisa says she's back. You will be, without a doubt, you will be the hottest speaker on the circuit if you can figure out a way to help these meeting planners do their job. They sure as hell would appreciate it. All right, let me see. Lisa, allowed to talk. Okay, Lisa, you back?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
Yeah, so I
yeah,
just
there
had
you
one
go.
more
Okay,
quick
Lisa.
thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, no problem.
Okay, so I just
Uh-huh.
had one more quick question.
It's okay.
So my target market is the faith-based market, and then my
Right.
niche and within that is the association market. So
Correct.
my question is, I've been doing my weekly email campaigns, with the leadership focus, and
Right.
then I recently added a second one that I send to just the faith-based market, specifically people. But I'm kind of finding that when I'm trying to come up with ideas of what to write now, after I've done it for a few months, that they're
Right.
kind of running together, but I'm not sure if they should be separated. You know what I'm saying? So like for the
Uh-huh.
faith-based market, I'm really talking about, connecting with your spirit and giving more of my personal journey and that type of thing. And then for the conference coordinators and everything, I'm kind of giving them more the leadership thing. So my brain is kind of, they're fusing together, and I'm not sure how I should be separating them out, or if I should be separating them out, or just kind of want to get your take on that.
Okay. This comes up all the time. This is a ongoing confusion for speakers because they make it too complicated. Remember, Lisa, let me clarify. Your target buyer is the people who you are supposed to be marketing to first, not the audience, not the target audience. The reason why you're getting confused is you're thinking, okay, the people in the faith-based market and my audience needs to hear a message of spiritual. The people in the association market need to hear a message in my audience from leadership. You're not focusing on the meeting planner, conference coordinator, chair, board, or committee member who is a key decision maker who purchases professional speaking services. This is what this is all about. You don't have to get it confusing. Remember, they're the gatekeeper. Your job is to help the gatekeeper. Ed Babcock just shared an article for the meeting planners in the top 5. Everybody needs to read it. You need to be doing as much research as you can on the meeting planner and the conference coordinator, because that is the person who is going to hire you, not the people sitting in the audience. That's not the purchaser.
Okay.
They're going to hear your message, but they're not going to purchase from you. They're not going to purchase your speaking services. They are there to benefit from your speaking services after you get hired. This is why speakers don't book any engagements, Lisa, because they overthink it.
Okay.
The target buyer is the person who you are supposed to be crafting your messaging to. Now, if it's a target buyer in the faith-based market, do you want to put a little bit more biblical and spiritual connotations in there? If you need to hook them in a little bit more, yes. If I were you, I would just keep it general about leadership all the way across the board, and you ain't got to worry about that stuff. Now, when you actually get on the phone with the meeting planner and you're talking to somebody from Ebenezer Baptist Church in Clearwater, Florida, okay, then you can go brother, sister, spiritual this, that. You see? But if I'm talking to a person in the association market who there's a Baptist Minister Association, if you're speaking to them, if you see, when you talk about leadership, this is the reason why I urge all of you to don't make it confusing. If you strip away the biblical and spiritual connotations and stuff that's in the Bible, you still got leadership. So why not just talk about leadership and you're not offending anybody? It's dripping with massive value. You can have a basic conversation with everybody about leadership, because you're going to be the one who is going to be speaking to them and helping them improve. So just so I know you understand this, Lisa, who was your target buyer?
The conference coordinator, meeting planner, key decision maker, board chair.
Yes, if I'm a meeting planner and you're not speaking to me in a language that I understand, I don't give a damn what market that you're in. If you're not speaking to me in a language that I understand, am I going to be compelled to give you the key to unlock the gate to put you in front of my audience? Yes or no?
No.
So you should be figuring out a way to come up with as many words and it's in as simplistic as possible to help me do my job better. This is the reason why speakers are not high fee speakers, because they miss the mark every single time, and then they make it too difficult to understand.
Okay.
Everybody wants to just jump right in there and start servicing the audience, but the audience is not going to listen to your message unless you get past the gatekeeper.
Right.
It took me years to figure this out. It took me years to figure it out. No matter who you're marketing to, It is very specific language that you need to use to get on the radar of the meeting planner. You just did it in front of 6 board members, Lisa.
Okay.
You weren't talking spiritual this and Bible this and Adam created this and the heaven and the earth apart in the Red Sea. I didn't hear you say none of that. What you were talking to them about was leadership, and you had value in that. Don't lose sight of that, please.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. Thank
No
you so
problem.
much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, because something good always comes out of it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for working through the internet connection as well.
Yeah.
Every time people come on this call to share. Thanks, Lisa. I'll talk to you real soon, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I don't know how to stress this enough to all of you, but you better understand what it is that I'm saying. And this is the reason why you asked me to show up for the group call every week with questions, because you don't understand this business at a high level. I don't mind telling, I get paid to tell you 1,000 times. I get paid to, watch this. You're going to hear me say it. You're going to hear me say it the same way, but a different way, 1,000 different times, until you get it and understand that the person is holding that check for the $5,000 to $10,000. And this is the reason why we focus on copywriting in module 1. That is why this is the most important skill that you have, copywriting. Everything you're saying out of your mouth has got to be framed in a specific way in which it's going to be sellable and bookable to put you in front of the meeting planner to get them to say yes. And if all you're thinking about is getting in front of the target audience, you're going to be in trouble. See, that's lacking patience. Oh, I just want to get, you know how many people I talk to, how many jackwagons I talk to every single day who are not serious about speaking. All they want to do is hear themselves talk, and they think they're just going to get in front of the audience and start speaking. And believe me, I used to think it was the same exact way. But the meeting planner is in control. You have a certain amount of control because you have the value. But they're not going to give you the key to unlock the gate to put you in front of their audience, and they damn sure enough ain't going to give you the key to the money vault unless you give them very good reason. Let me end on this note, and then I'm going to see if we have any other questions. And if not, we're going to wrap up the group call. We're not going to do nothing but let it go for about an hour tonight anyway. Let me just give you a precursor. Anybody that does have any questions, any lengthy questions, anything that you're confused about, you should not sit in pain. You should be submitting support tickets, support@speakerfocus.com. That is how you get your questions answered. That is how you advance in this industry. We know what we're talking about because we've been punched in the face thousands of times. Now, understand this. These meeting planners are looking for value. They need value on their stage. They will be more than happy to pay you for your messaging if you can just stop for a second to stop thinking about the audience. You're thinking about having that microphone in your hand. I know what you're thinking. You want to get on that stage. I want to share my message with the world. I've been called by God to speak. I want to do this so bad. Let me tell you something. The thing that you are thinking about the most, and when you don't have any patience and you just want it so bad for all the wrong reasons, it's going to be the thing that's the most evasive. So you need to stop thinking about getting on stage, and you need to start thinking about building your speaker business out the right way, because all that other stuff is going to take care of itself. Lisa Almond Baldwin is moving in the right direction, despite her turning on herself sometimes and second guessing. That all that's normal. She's doing the steps. We call, me and Austin call it revenue generating activity. She's doing revenue generating activity. Stay the course and stay focused on your goals and dreams and build your speaker business. Do the assignments, because I can guarantee you this, and you need to really hear me when I say this. Rolling around on stage like I used to, with your phone in your hand and pounding the ground and getting all hypey and motivational. And I cannot wait until they hear my story. Wait until they hear my story. I'm going to go in there and change everybody's life. I'm going to turn this place out. I'm going to blow the stage up into particles. Good for you. But none of that is going to happen unless you take the time in module 1 to build the messaging, mechanics of communication. You know how to work the room. You know how to, for you to get stuff together, so you ain't got to do a bunch of talking, because believe me, what you heard Alex say, what you heard Lisa say tonight is typical and indicative story. They don't want to hear you talking with death about. They want to read it in the sales tools. They want to look at your speaker info kit. They want to look at your speaker video demo. They want to look at the website. The rest of the chair board of committee members, I guarantee they was looking at it right when they was talking to Lisa on the phone, right when they were talking to her in the Zoom session. There's no getting on stage with the microphone in your hand until you build the right kind of messaging and module. With that message, questions. Support ticket. Show me that you're serious. Support@speakerfocus.com. Step number 3. You got to now set up your speaker entity the right way. Then you got to start. Step number 4, posting on your social media the right way. Are you leaving a social fingerprint that is positive for the meeting planner to get some value every time they look at every single post, social media, sharing stuff from a reality show that has no meeting planner do their job? You should be doing everything Mr. Auston Troyer tells you about, every single thing, or the only thing he's going to do is revenue, but you have got to build out your out. Let me say it for the people that cheat, that don't understand. Those of you who are hard-headed and you're not listening because you still want to do it your way to a multi-million-dollar sales funnel and a proven system. I don't know why you will want to do that. Listen to everything Auston tells you to do. Stop looking at so much TV and go back in there and look at module 5 over and over and over again. It's going to start speaking to you in a different way when you look at it the second, third, fourth, and fifth time. The only way you're going to start doing outreach like Lisa and Alex and a lot of other students on our platform is you got to get in it. You got to get in there and understand it. Get in it and make mistakes. Get in it and tweak it and get it in it and then do it over again. Upgrade some marketing language. Upgrade your outreach templates. We got it all for you to do. If you just use it, you're supposed to test the waters, get it into the marketplace, see what's going to work and what's not going to work. Reach back out to us, and then all we're going to do is help you improve on it. And then last but not least is module number 6, getting all your outreach templates together. And then you're ready to start moving forward to talking to these conference coordinators and meeting planners. So anyway, with that being said, let me look into the chat. Okay, Wayne just asked me, do we have someone on our platform who does graphic artists for creating a brochure for my website? I've created an LLC and gotten a website and a phone number. Okay, that's great. Wayne, I sent you over about 10 or 15 examples of students who are crushing it on our website when it comes to sales tools. I gave you a link to Fiverr. A lot of our students are getting great work. It's not hard to find somebody online to do your sales tools for you. A couple other people just asked me the same exact thing. I sent them links. You can reach out to students on our platform direct. You can go into school and leave a post there if you like, and someone will help you to get you some resources for design. We used to do it, but we don't do it anymore because designing graphics and all that kind of stuff is just too time consuming. It's not that difficult to find somebody that's reasonable, but one of your students will help you on school. Go into general discussion and put, I need help finding a graphic designer, and one of your students will help you. Or you can reach out to them direct with the examples that I gave you right there on the platform for people who are crushing it with their speaker video demo, speaker info kit. They'd be more than happy to turn over the lead to you. I don't know why a lot of you are sitting around on your hands waiting for somebody to do something for you when it comes to graph. That's not what we do at Speaker Focus. We don't do the design part, but some other students have other people that are crushing it through Fiverr and a lot of other resources. Go to school and put something in the community on the general discussion board, and one of your fellow compadres will help you as well. All right. Now, we are wrapping up this Monday group call. I want to say to all of you that if you don't start taking this thing called building your speaker business in stages, you're just going to keep flopping around in broke, begging, or desperation mode. You got gotta get out of the energy that you're in right now. Whoever's listening to me right now, you're not listening. You're getting in your own way, and you are blocking yourself from growing in this business the way you really need to. Every single thing is laid out. If you go back in the modules and you look at it, see what should happen is you should be looking at these modules, and then when you have a question, you should be submitting a support ticket. KTR, there's something about module 1 I didn't understand about the messaging. Can you help me? If I have not approved and checked your signature program, it means you have not submitted them. Why would you want to go out and start talking to meeting planners unless you get we check every single facet of your speaker business. The ones who are not submitting support tickets is because you're not doing the work. And I don't know what else you're doing, but if you're serious about growing a speaker business, this is what you should be doing. Don't stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop being depressed. Stop feeling guilty because I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. And please stop judging yourself and comparing yourself to what other people are doing. Because the world is not waiting for you. I don't know if you understand what's really going on. There's a big wealth shift happening in the speaking industry right now. And the people getting booked speaking engagements left and right, online and in person. The pandemic is not shutting down anything. I don't care about this new variant or whatever is going on. Things are open and they're not closing. People are vaccinated, people are getting on planes and flying, and people are still booking speaking engagements online. The meeting planner needs to deal with savvy speakers who understand how to navigate through the treacherous waters that we've been in and all the things that we've been going through in the world of speaking. But okay, Alicia just put something in there. Always grateful for the weekly Q&A feedback. Sometimes I get discouraged, but always light my fire again. That's what we're here for. This is what we were built and designed to do. I love nothing more than to get on these group calls and hear about your success stories and also help you, over. Some of you don't even have major hurdles. You act like you're Superman. You got to leap tall buildings in a single bound. I'm asking you to go over a speed bump. I'm asking you to take a step over a speed bump, not climb the Empire State Building. But that's the way some of you are making it in your mind because you won't simply do the work. I'm telling you, a lot of you need to do a gut check. You need to do you need to really reevaluate the rest of your 2021 campaign. And you need to take a look at every process that you got in your life and what's stopping you from getting me my homework assignments. What's stopping you from growing your speaker business? Some of you that's been in the program for 6 months, you still don't have your website done. You still don't have your speaker video demo done. Would you want me to do it for you? You want me to jump? You want me to pay you a visit? You want me to slide down the chimney like Santa Claus? That's what you want me to do. And come in there, get on your computer, and start tinkering. I got my own shit to build. And this is how you have to start talking to yourself, ladies and gentlemen. If you expect to advance, me and Austin are working on $100 million business model. If you think I don't have my own concerns, and I'm not shook in a couple areas of my life right now because my whole shit has been off lately, but I still got to figure out a way to get up and push through. And that's what I'm asking you to do. It's not going to be easy. This is why everybody's not a high fee speaker. Because if it was easy, everybody be copping $5,000 for 1 hour. Understand? A meeting plan. I gotta step outside and get some air. You better get pissed. I hope that you hear what I'm saying to you right now. I'm pissed. I'm not exactly where I want to be. I got some shit going on in my life too. Okay? That still doesn't stop me from having to get up every day and come up with a plan to do what is necessary. Somebody needs to hear this right now. Okay? Kenneth, we're all in our own. This is what's happening. See? It takes a big person to say, I'm trying to get out of my own way. I understand it. I go through the same exact thing. I have the same apprehension. You think that I don't. Y'all need to start looking at me like I'm human. I'm not Superman. I bleed, I cut. I'm not Drago in Rocky 4. You know what Rocky's trainer told him? Rocky said he is a man. He is human. He does. You look at him, you cut him, you bleed him. I'm human. I got some shit going on like everybody else. I'm telling you right now what you're going to need to do. You need to follow the instructions. When the instructions get hard in the modules, then you need to submit a support ticket to support@speakerfocus.com. We will tell you what you're doing wrong. We will help you get over that hump. We do it every single day. So when the demons start come visiting you at night and you get scared and you're afraid, you don't want to do your speaker info kit because some of you are afraid. You're afraid to reach out to 5, 10, 20 people through Fiverr. You're afraid to go set up a Fiverr account. This shit is not that hard. You're afraid to go in there and start interacting with people and asking them about you. This is your business. It's your responsibility. I have a responsibility to teach you how to do it the right way, unlike any other platform on planet Earth, because they don't give a damn whether or not you get it right or not. I do. But you got to be willing to do the work. Look at the video modules first. Let's keep it real simple. Look at the video modules first. And then when you get stuck, I'm not asking you to leap over the Empire State. I'm asking you to climb over a speed bump. Take one step at a time. Lift your foot up and step over. I'm stuck, KTR. I'm stuck, Austin. I don't know what I'm doing. It doesn't feel good. I'm uncomfortable. Is it me? No, it's everybody. Can you help me? Yes, we can help you. I'd like to see somebody submit a support ticket, and I send you back the middle finger. Are you serious? This is how some of you act like you're not going to get any help. You know that's not true. Somebody said Fiverr is the bomb. Jonathan said Fiverr is the bomb. You see what I'm talking about? Vendors are in Pakistan, but they can do stuff for a slither of the price. From graphic design to design of websites, they do it all. Another recommendation from Fiverr. That's why, listen, Fiverr doesn't pay us a dime, but I'm telling you, a lot of our students are getting great results from Fiverr left and right, and they're getting it done on a low with some beautiful templates. Our students are topping each other every single week. Oh my God, look at that speaker info kit. The one that Alex just did. I don't know what template that he used, but it's beautiful. You got to understand the kind of technology that we have at our disposal right now. Jonathan, you're welcome, man. Johnson said, thanks for sharing the pain and modeling on how you get up and you got to persevere despite the setbacks and keep slapping you down. I said, brother, I'm getting beat down left and right now. And that's because I'm ready to take this shit to a whole nother level. And you got to fight for it. It ain't going to jump into your lap. How bad do you want to grow your speaker? Are you tired of your sales tools not being complete? Are you tired of your messaging not being complete? Are you tired of you getting in your own way and not getting the results? You're not going to book anything unless you build out your speaker business the right way first. We're taking you step by step by step. Why is the question. I got to ask myself why every single day and look myself in the mirror. If you don't like what you see, change it. If you don't like the activity that you're doing, do something about it. If you're not turning in some homework assignments, send me a support ticket. Let me know what I can do to help you get over. I'm not asking you to climb the Empire State. I'm asking you to get over a speed bump. I'm looking at a speed bump in this parking lot right now. It ain't that hard to get over it. But I tell you this, if you got a low riding car and you drive over too fast, you're gonna wreck your spoiler and you're gonna tear your car apart. Okay, me, I like SUVs. You know why? Because I sit high. Now I could go over the speed bump fast, but I'm gonna feel the bumps and it's gonna be a little shaky. I'm telling you that we're here with you to walk you through the process so that you don't have to struggle. You don't have to suffer on this platform. This is not what you made an investment for. I gotta talk to you, some of you like this because you're not listening. You're doing whatever it is you want to do. Well, what is that? You ever book high fee speaking gigs before? You know what it's like to be a 6 or 7 figure speaker? No, I do. So listen to what I'm saying. Put your boots on. Get your full metal jacket because we're getting ready to go to war. Now, in warfare, you're gonna suffer some casualties. You're gonna get nicked up a little bit. Ain't nobody getting out of this life alive, and you're not gonna get out of your speaker business without putting this is a blood sport. Put some fucking time into it and get it done. And I'm here to help support you. Listen, I should see about 1,000 support tickets pouring in right now. What you think? You think you're gonna put us to work more than what we're working right now? You can't ask me enough questions, and then I'm not going to have the answers to help you grow your speaker business. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kevin T. Robertson, proud CEO of SpeakerFocus.com. I want nothing but the best for you. I want you to get up off of asses, get some movement going on, Start reaching out to as many people until you get a yes. I'm going to help you put together your sales tools. I don't know how to launch my website. Okay, submit a support ticket to support@speakerfocus.com. Any technical question that you have, Auston in the support ticket will be on top of it for you. And you sure as hell are going to get the most out of all of us. I have to talk to you like this sometimes because this is what it is. I told you this is going to be tough love right from the beginning. Get your shit together. It's not too late for the rest of the year for 2021. Get ready for 2022. If you want to be prepared for something bigger, then you got to be willing to make bigger moves. You got to be willing to make bigger sacrifices. You got to be willing to make bigger mistakes. The bigger the mistake, the bigger the man. The bigger the mistake, the bigger the woman. You ain't the only one making mistakes. Make them. Let us help you correct them. And that's all it is to it. Air bump. Listen. So look, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to have a great evening. I want you to stay focused on your goals and dreams. On behalf of the staff and the team at speakerfocus.com, I'm Kevin T. Robertson, your proud CEO, and I will see you right here, same place, same day next week. Thank you so much for your support, and I love you.